When Google launched Android Wear 2.0, they also announced two brand new smartwatches coming from LG, the Watch Sport and the Watch Style. While the Sport might be too much for some, the Style brings just the basics. I'm Justin Duino with 9 to 5 Google, and in this review, I will share my thoughts on the LG Watch Style and tell you if it's worth the money. One thing that differentiates the watch style when comparing it to most Android Wear smartwatches is its size. Weighing in at only 46 grams, you forget the style is even on your wrist. Unlike the Watch Sport, which comes with LTE, GPS, and more, the style comes with only the bare minimum. This makes it so that the body of the style is incredibly thin. Not as thin as others like the Zen Watch 2, but thin enough that I constantly had to push my sweatshirt out of the way to see it. So let's talk specifically about the watch's hardware. The body of the style is made out of stainless steel while the underside is made out of plastic so that the watch can wirelessly charge. On the right side of the style is where the digital crown can be found. This works as a home/power button as well as a scroll wheel so you can navigate through the interface. While it does the job nicely, I do feel like the digital crown is almost too small. Obviously, it was made to match the overall design of the style, but with it being so small, it is sometimes easier to just swipe on the screen. Out of the box, the watch style comes with one of Google's leather mode watch bands. These are great as they make the job of swapping out bands incredibly easy. Simply slide the latch found on the other side of the watch band and remove it. Unfortunately, as this is genuine leather, the band itself is a little stiff when you first get the style, but over time it will break in and become softer while wearing it. Now back to the watch itself. Running Android Wear 2.0, the style runs as smooth as butter. It's sometimes faster to just pull out your phone than interact with your smartwatch, but the style is fast enough that these situations are much less common. You still access all of your notifications by swiping up on the screen, but all of your applications can now be found by pressing on the home button. And that's another big change. With Android Wear 2.0, you get a version of the Google Play Store built into the watch as well as standalone apps. Minus having to have your phone around for data, the style does pretty much everything else on its own. These updated apps with standalone capabilities also make using the style much better than those with previous versions of Android Wear. While most aren't feature-rich, none of the apps ever crashed or slowed down the performance of the style during my time reviewing it. Also on board is Google Assistant. Assistant can answer your questions, set reminders, and so much more, and it's launched by holding down the digital crown for just a second. Any responses that it gives, though, will be in written form as the style doesn't have built-in speakers. The biggest downside of using Google Assistant on Wear is that you are already waiting a second for it to launch and then another second for it to load. Then, once you've asked your question, the response can take up to 10 seconds to show up. While most of the time answers are given within a second or two, Google Assistant did tend to just give up and ask you to repeat the question on multiple occasions during my time reviewing it. The Snapdragon Wear 2100 CPU, 512 megabytes of RAM, and a 240 mAh battery is more than enough to power the watch style. As the smartwatch doesn't come with all the bells and whistles found in the Watch Sport, it doesn't need too much horsepower under the hood. But because of that, you are also getting a fairly basic smartwatch that can't do much more than feed you notifications. Yes, you can still launch all of the apps that you've downloaded onto the watch and do basic Google searches, but the style wasn't meant for much more than that. Thankfully, it's a lot like the Google Pixel in this way. It's a basic smartwatch, but it does most things almost perfectly and has consistent performance. The LG Watch style is now available to purchase from Best Buy and the Google Store. The titanium and silver colors will cost you around $250, while the rose gold variant has a more premium cost of roughly $280. If you want something with a little more power, then you might want to check out our review of the LG Watch Sport, which can be found on our website. If you want to know more about the watch style, you can head on over to 9to5google.com and check out our full written review. As always, I'm Justin Duino. You can follow me on Twitter as JADuino, and thanks for watching.